I've decided that today is the day to clean up my little office/studio space. It's gotten to be a mess. All of our stuff from moving here from California is everywhere. Hopefully by the end of this, it's gonna look a lot nicer. Let's get to work. It's not time to wake up, buddy. You gotta sleep a little longer. You know, this thing did come with wheels. I don't know why I took them off, because they would have come in handy right now when I'm moving it around. I think we should put the wheels back on. Aha. So, I think it was when I was in college that I first learned heaven is not just like an ethereal spiritual world, but ultimately, where the believers are going to spend their life, is here on Earth on a renewed planet. When I first heard it, I thought it sounded like something from a cult. Turns out, it's biblical. I don't know if you can blame the churches or if it's more just like a pop culture thing. You know, the idea of a guy like sitting on a cloud playing a harp forever and then it's going to be boring. God made people to have physical bodies. That was the original design. So it's not that we were made to just be spirits, we were made to be body-spirit integration. Even though sin has happened, the fall has happened, and we at death are separated from our bodies. It says in 1 Corinthians 15 that there will be a resurrection for everyone who believes in Jesus Christ. A bodily resurrection. And I feel like too many Christians don't even realize this is a thing. But if there's going to be a bodily resurrection, it raises, I guess, kind of an interesting question. Is there going to be work in heaven? Are we going to have jobs? But I think before you're like too quick to answer that and say, no, work is hard, heaven's going to be peaceful and relaxing, so we're definitely not going to have jobs. I think you need to think a little bit deeper about the question. And the first question we should ask is work a consequence of the fall? When man sinned in Genesis 3, there were consequences for that. And part of that was that God said work would become hard. Thistles and thorns, he told Adam, would come from the ground and make it hard for him to work. And even though a lot of us don't work the ground anymore, all kinds of work still is hard. There are metaphorical thistles and thorns. We get frustrated with our jobs. We get frustrated with the people we work with. Things are difficult. There is toil, and we all kind of look forward to the day when we can retire from it. So naturally we would conclude, well, there's probably not going to be work in heaven because work is hard. But work wasn't always hard. And in fact, we were made to work and to enjoy it. It looks pretty good, right? The room's still a mess, and I need to do a little bit more tidying up, but I like this setup. I think it's going to be a bit better than if you've watched my older videos. It's always got this black backdrop, and I just feel like it doesn't look good. So this is a little bit brighter, a little bit cheerier, a little bit officier. So, hope you like it. There's this verse in Revelation that talks about the restfulness of heaven, and it makes it seem like we won't have to work anymore. The verse is Revelation 14:13, and it says, "And I heard a voice from heaven saying, 'Write this, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Blessed indeed, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, for their deeds follow them.'" They may rest from their labors. So that sounds like we don't have to work anymore in heaven. What's interesting is the word labor in that passage is the Greek word kopos, which is always used to emphasize the negative aspects of work. Other places it's translated in the Bible as trouble or labor or toil. All these words about work with a negative connotation. And the reason you kind of react to that question with, of course not, is because we assume that heaven is purely a place of like a permanent vacation. And though it is restful, there's still work. That is not a contradiction. I mean, haven't you ever enjoyed a day of work and just felt productive, felt like you got a lot done, and been satisfied at the end of it. That is how work is supposed to be, sans the sin. The reason that work is toilsome and painful and hard and frustrating is because work is tainted by the curse.
Check it out.
See, I think we make a mistake when we think of rest as not doing anything, just vegging out. Because I don't know about you, but my most restful times are not when I'm not working at all, but when I'm working on something different, like a hobby. You are working, you're doing something, but you're enjoying it. You're taking pleasure in it, which is what we were made for. We were made to enjoy work. And so heavenly work will be restful work, because that's the kind of work we were made for, to do things with our hands that is satisfying and fulfilling and glorifying to God. There will be work in heaven because God made us to work, and it is in working in His power and for His glory that we find our greatest fulfillment in life. See, it's not that we desire to rest from work or from the fulfillment of doing things. No, we desire to rest from toil, from labor, from the burdensomeness of it. And that is what we will have when the Lord makes all things new. The thistles and the thorns of work, they are part of the curse. They are a consequence of our own sinfulness. And so there's no reason to conclude that work will cease in heaven, because we were made to work. And we know that in the end, that curse that we're under will be lifted. It says in Revelation 22:3, "No longer will there be anything accursed, but the throne of God and of the Lamb will be in it. And His servants will serve Him." We'll serve Him. We'll work. We will have things to do. And so work in heaven is not something that we should dread and say, oh, well, I guess heaven's not going to be that enjoyable. No, it's going to be awesome because we're going to be doing what we're made to do. And we should look forward to the fact that we will be able to do work that is not in vain, but will be established by the Lord. It will be in fulfillment of who we were made to be. That's exciting. That's something to look forward to. And I think that even now, in the way that we work in this life, it should be informed by the knowledge that that's what work is supposed to be for. We can find ways to enjoy the work that we're doing now, to make it meaningful by doing it in such a way that our eyes are towards honoring God in how we work and in what we do. It'll shift our attitude from one of complaining about work or how hard this is to one of saying, Lord, this is hard, but I see that there is joy even in my work here at Walmart, restocking the shelves. I'm enjoying that I'm bringing order to this place. And it's frustrating because my manager doesn't get it, but I know that one day when all things are made new, I will work to the glory of God with all of my might without any of the thistles and thorns of this life. And that's something to look forward to and to praise God for. So will there be work in heaven? You bet there will. And it's something that we should all look forward to. Well, I'm going to get back to cleaning this place up because it really is quite the mess still. But if you enjoyed this video, if you want more of productivity from a Christian perspective, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I also do a weekly show that is available on this YouTube channel, but also on my podcast. You can find links to that below. Thanks for watching. I have been Reagan Rose.